There are freshmen on USC's roster who are going to play in 2025. I'm not sure how many will play on offense. However, on defense, definitely. So let's play a little game of true or false. USC's defensive line will produce 2 All-Americans, 2 Freshmen All-Americans.
You are Locked On USC, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Culkin, and thank you. Thank you for making Locked On USC part of the Locked On Network, your first listen every single day. Whether you are watching this show on YouTube, you know you can pick a platform, you can download this podcast. This show is always going to be free. The show's always going to appreciate your support. And this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. I'm talking true freshmen. Okay, I just want to kind of lay it out there, make sure we're all comparing apples to apples here. Now, if we want to open up the discussion to include the redshirt freshmen, then yeah, I'll include the offense in this conversation as well. But for this exercise, first segment, when I look at the roster, the only 2 freshmen who I see, the only 2 true freshmen who I see have a chance to play some legitimate good minutes on offense, Corey Sims, his name pops out at wide receiver. Maybe Tanu Kynes, another wide receiver. But that's about it when we're talking about true freshmen. Now, if injuries, knock it on wood here, if injuries happen to ravage the offensive line or the running back rooms, then maybe a true freshman could, find themselves playing a lot. But we're not hoping for injuries. But I do want to talk about 2 specific freshmen on defense. As you know, I take part in the Inside the Trojan Huddle panel show every week. The host, Chris Arledge, he texted the panel, myself included, a true or false, a list of true or false questions. And one of them needs to be explored much more closely. Full disclosure, all right? When Chris sent over the list, the script, the day before the show, I gleaned right over it, literally. So when I heard the question out loud, I actually needed to take a few seconds to think about it. I had one of those dramatic pauses. So true or false? Floyd Boucard will be better in college than Jahkeem Stewart. That was the actual question that was put to us. And I'll tell you, even as I answered it, I wasn't sure. But I felt confident when I did give him my answer, when I eventually said, you know what? True. Floyd Boucard will have a better college career than Jahkeem Stewart. And I think in my mind, in my head, I was thinking, Floyd Boucard will have a better freshman year than Jahkeem Stewart. This was the rationale that was going on in my head. So you got Floyd. He's 6'3", 305 pounds. He's from Montreal, Canada. He played his senior season of high school football. That's very key here. He played that at Miami Central. It's in Florida. It's right in the Miami Hurricanes' backyard. Before that, he played his junior year of high school ball in the state of Alabama. So before he joined Miami Central, he was at Mobile Christian High School. That's in Mobile, Alabama. He actually led his team, who ended up going undefeated that year, 15-0. But he led their team to a state championship. He also had 85 tackles, 27 for a loss, including 11 sacks. I have no clue why he was rated so low, just a 3-star, the 643rd best player in the country. That's it. Never mind that USC, Oklahoma, Miami, Alabama, Florida, Oregon, Georgia, LSU, as well as many others wanted him, okay? This is why I say don't look at the star rankings. Look at who's recruiting you. I mean, in high school, he was learning how to play in 2 of the most passionate states, football passionate states in the country. Florida and Alabama, they love their football. So you got that going on. Floyd was at USC for spring ball. So was Jahkeem Stewart. Jahkeem, though, did not play a lot of high school football. So another thing that, they both have bodies that are physically ready for the college level. But when you look at Floyd, he just looks older. He looks mature. He doesn't look like an 18 or 19-year-old or a 17-year-old. He looks like a grown man. And here's the other reason why I think Floyd's going to have a better, I don't know, if we want to call it a college career or if we want to narrow it down to the freshman year, this is mostly why I think Floyd will have a better college career than Jahkeem. Not saying Jahkeem's not going to have a good career, just for this reason only. Coach Henne said so. Henne didn't say that Floyd would have a better college career than Jahkeem Stewart. Far from it. But he said he has elite feet. And then I saw those elite feet, that skill set on display during fall camp. Coach Henne offered this quote to the media we had brunch during the summer. He said, quote, he's physical and he's heavy-handed. He's got some of the best feet that you've ever seen. I think he has elite footwork. He's a guy that's still growing mentally, the football IQ part. He's working to understand the game better, coming from the high school to the NFL style of defense and coaching. When he improves in that area, he'll get better and play faster. He'll be a phenomenal player. I'm very excited about him. And then just before fall camp started, Coach Sean Newis said this: Floyd Boucard is a freshman with huge upside. He's so athletic. He has good feet. Obviously, we have our big guys in Keyshawn Silver, Jaw Jarrett, but we have guys, if those two guys are out of breath, that are guys that are strong enough and good enough to fill in. Floyd is versatile. He's in that mix. So you got both coaches going to bat. So you add all that up, plus one other major factor. As I mentioned, Floyd has a bunch of reps in high school at an elite level. Jahkeem Stewart reclassified. He's supposed to be playing his senior year of high school this year. And he missed, so he didn't play his senior year in high school. No football. He played his junior year. He's got a total of 12 games under his belt. That's not a lot of experience. That didn't stop everybody and their mother from wanting and recruiting him, but you've got to take that into consideration. And I think that was the biggest difference for me. I think Floyd just comes in slightly more prepared. They were both at spring ball, but Floyd actually has more actual game experience. So I think, Thanos, Jahkeem, he's just playing a little bit of catch up in that regard. They also play different positions inside. Floyd literally will line up over the ball. That's why, Coach Newell was talking about guys that can come in and give Silver or Jared a breather. He's talking about guys like Floyd, Kobe Pepe, Cash Jacobson. So Floyd lines up over the ball. Thanos is more of a 3 technique. He also slides outside at defensive end. I think eventually he's going to be a Sean Cody, Big Cat Williams type of player. He will be inside strictly. Remember, when Sean Cody showed up as a freshman, he played outside. He eventually moved inside, and that's where he found his home. I think it's an unfair comparison. But literally, when you watch Floyd play, and again, I just had a limited sample size to watch what we were allowed to watch, but he reminds you of a young Aaron Donald. He's bigger, but he's got that same type of tenacity, the way he plays. Heavy hands, strong hands, excellent elite footwork. I have no idea who's going to actually have the better college career, but I do think Floyd will have a better freshman year. Okay, that's where I wanted to go with this. And here's the best part: the beauty of the whole thing. USC has both of them for the next 3 years, hopefully for 3 years. I say hopefully just because, the transfer portal is kind of lingering out there. USC will take care of these guys. Please take care of these guys. We know Thanos is taken care of. If Floyd blows up the way everyone anticipates, the way I anticipate, you're probably going to have to renegotiate his NIL deal as well. So I do think, as I said at the top of the show, USC can actually have 2 Freshmen All-Americans on the defensive line. And that's what's so special about this recruiting class that they brought in. You know, they get to play with each other for years. I'm not talking about Gus Cordova, not talking about Cash Jacobson as part of this discussion. Jaden Ramos, another one who has flashed during the fall. So there's so much young talent. But I think this year, between Jahkeem Stewart and Floyd Boucard, I think they play the most of the freshmen. And I think they have the ability to open some eyes and earn some Freshman All-America accolades, some recognition. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Hit me up on the comments section. You know where to find me on YouTube. You know where to find me on X. You can hit me up on Instagram. Find me on Facebook. Everything's at Mark Holkin. I make it really easy. So hit me up. Let me know what you think. I just found that question from Chris to be, after I actually sat down and thought about it, I was like, well, you know what? This is a really good question. Take some thought. And, you know, our answers on that show were very short, very brief, like 15 seconds. Here's my long answer. Why I think Floyd Boucard could potentially have a better college football career than Jahkeem Stewart. Again, not calling Jahkeem a bust. He's going to have a major impact in a positive way. I just think Floyd, that's why you don't look at the rankings. Never look at those recruiting stars. Look at who's recruiting you. And yes, Jahkeem was being recruited by everybody as well. I just don't understand why Floyd was ranked so low. Not with that list of offers. And his play on the field he's been backing it up during practice. So we'll see. You know, 10 more days. USC kicks off against Missouri State. That'll be our first chance to see it. And we're going to see a lot of those guys playing. We're going to see both of those guys playing a lot, especially in those first 2 games. I would assume. I would hope so. All right, so 2 more segments to go on the show. We're going to talk about the offensive line's versatility. It's official. It's unfortunate, but DJ Wingfield did not get the ruling he wanted. It's time to move on. So Coach Riley talked about that after practice. And then if you're old enough and you remember the game USC versus Auburn back in 2004, Mr. Crittenden. We got to talk about that 2004. It's rearing its head again. Somebody wants to claim a national championship. Most people can't name all their financial accounts, right? They don't even know what they're worth, whether it's 401k, properties, investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's where Monarch Money comes into play. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean-to-use interface. Easy to use, clean. On your laptop, you can do it on your phone as well. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see your data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally, you can feel in total control of your money. And you're never going to have to touch a spreadsheet. One fantastic feature that will help you save money, I linked all my accounts to Monarch, and immediately it spotted a few subscriptions I wasn't even using. Canceling those alone saved me money just doing that every month. I'm telling you, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. All you got to do is use the code LOCKEDONCollege. All right, if you're running a business, every single missed call, you are literally leaving money on the table. You're losing money. Think about the last time you needed a service. If the first person didn't answer, did you wait around? Did you wait for them to call you back? Probably not. You moved on. That's why you need Open Phone, so you never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customers' communications. Do you juggle two phones? You're trying to keep your personal separated from your business? Open Phone solved that for you instantly. Another great feature. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. There's no more of that. Who's going to handle this? See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone. They're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That's openphone.com/lockedoncollege. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. If you're not an everyday viewer, listener of this show, it means you're getting your USC news after the fact. Literally, you are. You're a day late, you're a dollar short, and this show's free. So if you're watching on YouTube, click that red subscribe button, smash that thumbs up, hit that bell notification so you don't miss an episode, and you're not the last to find out. But I've been telling my everydayers, everyone who watches this show, I've been doing this for a while now. Do not count out Killian O'Connor as USC's starting center in 2025. And look, it's unfortunate. But now that DJ Wingfield is done, it's official. He is not going to be able to suit up for the Trojans in 2025. That means the left guard spot is going to be manned by either Micah Benuelos or Tobias Raymond. And you say, well, Mark, you're talking about Killian O'Connor. Hang tight. Stay with me. Excuse me. So Coach Riley broke the news after practice about DJ. And immediately the domino effect starts. And Coach Riley was talking about the offensive line's versatility. So he mentioned how Jeonre Reed can play multiple spots. Guess who told you that multiple times on this show? Said, Jeonre Reed, he doesn't have to play center. He could also play left guard. Maybe he plays right guard. Now, some of you mocked me for that. Said, no. They didn't bring him over to play guard. They brought him over to play center. Well, if Killian is being tabbed as the opening day starter at center, you got to find room for Jeonre. Is he going to be backup? Is he just going to be Killian's backup? Coach Riley also talked about how Justin Teague can play a prominent role on the offensive line. When he said Justin Tauanu can play a prominent role, he wasn't being specific about anything. But like I said, once he's on the field, you now start seeing the versatility with the other guys where they get shifted around. Because Justin is not a guard. He's a tackle. So while Coach Riley did not explicitly name the starting offensive line, he left enough clues, breadcrumbs between his coach speak that everybody, can, kind of figure out what the starting offensive line is going to more than likely be when USC kicks off against Missouri State. So the media at Tuesday's practice, which during mock game week, and Wednesday will be the last one that the media attends pretty much for the rest of the year. But this is what the media got to see. They saw Elijah Page at left tackle, Tobias Raymond at left guard. There's your versatility. Killian O'Connor at center, Alani Noah right guard, and then Ta'ua'anu at right tackle. Again, the versatility. So can Justin slide inside and play guard if he had to? Sure. But he is your prototypical offensive tackle. Just his build, the long arms, everything, footwork. The versatility literally comes into play if they need to shuffle some of their chess pieces. Because, as I mentioned, Justin could play both tackle spots. Tobias Raymond, he could play tackle as well, but he also can play guard. He can play on the interior. So let's say for whatever reason, I'm just saying, let's say Elijah Page needs a break at left tackle. Again, doesn't matter what the reason is. He just needs a breather. Now, Justin slides over to left tackle. Tobias can move back to right tackle. Micah can take over at left guard if he's not starting. Again, that's your versatility. Those are moving the chess pieces around. You're looking for the 5 best offensive linemen to be on the field at one time. Right now, the coaches have to decide where they want the size dispersed. Because is it you've got Micah and Killian. Neither one of them are 6'5" or 6'6". You got Micah, he's listed at what, 6'2", 310 pounds. Killian, being generous, at 6'1", 300. So overall, are you looking for size or are you looking for technique and consistency? That's what the coaching staff has to to decide to figure out, decide upon. I mean, it's got to be enticing, to put a couple of 6'7" guys lined up next to each other on one side of the ball. You're talking about Elijah Page at left tackle. You're talking about Tobias Raymond at left guard. Both of those guys 6'7". And then you've got Alani Noah at right guard, Justin at right tackle. You're squeezing Killian into like a locker room, into a locker space, except the locker room. Yeah, remember your high school locker in the hallway? That's where Killian is right now. Not literally stuffed in the locker, but that's how much space you would have when you're flanked on both sides by that much size. Bottom line is this: you got to go with a group that works best together. It's not just about size. So, yeah, there's going to be some rotation maneuvering in the first couple of games. And these are going to be the 8 guys that are going to be rotated in when their number's called. So you've got Elijah Page, Micah Benuelos, Killian O'Connor, Jeonre Reed, Alani Noah, Justin Tuanu, Tobias Raymond. And again, if we're going 8 deep, let's throw Kalon Miller's name in there because he's been pushing Alani Noah during fall camp. The other thing I'm overly confident about when it comes to this offensive line, I feel real confident those are your 7 to 8 guys that you're going to be seeing on the field in 2025. The other thing I'm very, very, very confident about, I got somebody sent me a message saying, "Hey, Mark, been 2 running backs in the backfield same time." Didn't say which one. He told me which ones. Are we doing this? And I was like, it sounds like it. So it sounds like USC is going to be doing a lot more run blocking than they did last year. And USC ran the ball a good amount. I think they're going to be running the ball even more in 2025. I'm not saying that. Don't look at that as a negative at the quarterback or the wide receiver positions. I just think USC is going to go with a major strength, and that's their ability to run the ball. And that'll open up the passing game. So that's always a good thing, right? I had to get a swig of water in there for a second, so I apologize for that. All right, we've got one more segment to go. Does anybody remember USC heading down to the Plains playing Auburn back in 2004? Do you? I'm sure you do. Well, there was a player for Auburn, plays on their defensive line. His name was Monrico Crittenden. Oh, Mr. Crittenden. If you've seen the YouTube video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll remind everybody that's coming up next. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. The preseason is literally behind us. If you want to say it's heating up, fine. Summer's heating up, that's for sure. College football, it's this weekend. Whether you got your eye on big name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. Trojan fans, which USC Trojan, which NFLer are you most excited to watch put up huge numbers in 2025? Caleb Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Woody Marks. How many interceptions will Kalen Bullock pull in 2025? Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 players on their stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. That's a lot of money. And their flex play option is a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you still doubled your money. And always remember, Prize Picks puts their members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 play. Prize Picks, run your game. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or you're ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week one even kicks off, this is your moment. Here's my moment. How about Amon-Ra St. Brown for the MVP of 2025? Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. It looks like it's open season on claiming national championships. Yep. Here's something else. We get the blame on the NCAA. They pretty much said that rules and decorum, they don't matter anymore. They let Michigan off the hook. They slapped them on the hand, said, pay $20 million. You get to keep your tainted national championship. Keep your trophy. Well, because of that, it's opened the door to interpreting what the right thing to do is. I mean, Michigan thought the right thing to do was to lie, to cheat, to obfuscate, destroy evidence. Well, Auburn picked up on it and said, you know what? We're going to start claiming national championships from the past. We're going to pick one from 2004. We were undefeated. We got screwed over. So, yeah, they're claiming 2004. Auburn. Remember when USC went into Auburn? Remember that? Was it 2003? I think it was 2003. Yeah, it was. That was the year. So in 2004, USC also went undefeated. Then they ended up beating up, smacking Oklahoma 55-19 in the Orange Bowl. They left no doubt who the best team in the country was. Eventually, that national championship trophy was taken away by the BCS because of the way the NCAA, I'm just going to say it, framed USC to be a criminal. Found guilty when they were innocent. I'm not going down that road anymore. Anyways, long story short, Auburn wants the 2004 national championship because technically it was left vacated when the BCS took their trophy away. So, on that note, for some reason, 21 years later, Auburn feels like they can claim a couple of random polls and declare themselves the national champion. That's what they're doing. Oh, Mr. Crittenden. How many of you remember the Auburn offensive lineman? His name was Monrico Crittenden. Before that game, because it was, I think it was number 3 Auburn, number 6 USC, traveling out to the plains. Remember that? ESPN was doing this thing. They highlighted Monrico ahead of the game. Got to, kind of put him on camera to get his feelings about USC coming to play the SEC. They asked him his thoughts about USC's defense. And he said, I know I'm not supposed to say it, but they got nothing on our defense. And then 1 minute, literally 1 minute in the game, you got Darnell Ding intercepting Jason Campbell. The shutout was on their way. USC won that game 23-0. Right after the interception, Matt Leinart threw his first college career pass to BMW, touchdown, 7-0 USC. USC went on to win that game again, 23-0. And the whole meme was ESPN kept, during the minute and a half video, whatever, USC did something good. The defense showed up, created another turnover. Oh, Mr. Crittenden. And it was the same quote. I know I'm not supposed to say it, but USC's got they got nothing on our defense. I'm just trying to figure out why Auburn thinks they deserve the 2004 national championship, especially when you add everything up. In 2002, USC beat Auburn in LA. I talked about 2003. USC went out to the Plains, shut out Auburn inside Jordan Hare Stadium. I mean, they were sending the Auburn fans home early, real early. So the reason why Auburn is doing this is because no one's going to stop them. Because the NCAA said, forget the rules. You can cheat for all we care. And now Auburn wants to claim 2004. If that's going to be the case, if that's how everybody's going to do everything, there's probably about 10 more national championships out there USC can claim as well. There's a lot of seasons where they got snubbed. Remember 2008? Why not? Remember 78 or 79 where they had to split? They beat Alabama, but they tied Stanford. What the heck's that all about? So USC can go from 12 national championships to well over 20 like that if they want to play that game. Should they? I don't think USC will do that. But I'll say it again. Call up Tiffany's, call up and go down to Rodeo Drive. You're not that far away, USC. Have somebody recreate a crystal football. Put it back inside Heritage Hall and say, we're reclaiming our 2004 BCS national championship because we didn't cheat. In fact, they were trying to get Reggie Bush to leave at USC. That's what they were giving him money for. Oh, and they were also, but not USC. Somebody was providing free airfare so Reggie's parents can go on the road, watch USC play those road games at Cal, Washington, wherever USC played. So yeah, that's what USC was found guilty for. So I'll say it again. If Auburn's going to claim a couple of random computer polls for the 2004 national championship, USC just make the claim. But in fact, I want them to do this. One of the viewers made a great recommendation. USC should wait until Michigan comes to town. Raise the banner then. Drive the point home. All right. That's it for this episode of Locked On USC. I thought that was just real interesting that Auburn is popping up again. I don't know why they're doing it this year. Maybe they don't anticipate having a good year. I don't know. But if they're going to claim, USC might as well play the same game. What it's all about, right? It's an arms race. A race to the bottom, it feels like, but whatever. I'll be back with another episode of Locked On USC tomorrow. It's what we do around here 5 times a week. Anything that comes down the pike, I'll tell you about. It'll be the last practice report that the media gets to entertain. Starting on Thursday, we'll do our Zoom session with Coach Riley. I'll bring that up to date with you. So until then, everyone, you know what to do. And don't forget, head on over there to wearesc.com. We've got that $1 subscription special going.